Hi guys, welcome back.
This is our fourth episode. Our fourth
Yay!
episode, Ray.
Hooray to Ray. Welcome
Hooray.
back. Thanks for coming back. Um, so do you
Let's
wanna
start. What did you do? I mean, I just talked to you on Saturday. Well, we talked to you on Saturday, but what's happened in the past
I
day?
just wanna say the breast milk is working, everyone. Woo!
Yes, if you guys
It
don't know what
is.
she's referring to, go check out our bonus episode with Zim that went up literally 2 days ago. And she talks all
Yeah.
about breast milk.
I talk all about putting breast milk on my face and it working. So I am a firm believer in breast milk being liquid gold like I talked about. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. It works. If you want to try it, you have my recommendations to do so. I firmly stand behind it. So
Question though, so you got lucky and you have someone that you know that's breastfeeding. Where do you get it if you don't know anybody? Because obviously you don't want to go to these donation sites that are for like literally for babies that need it.
and that is why I'm saying look up a black market. I'm sure there's a thing. I'm sure there's a thing out there.
I told
So
Jonathan about it and he was like, "That's so weird."
first of all, Jonathan doesn't know my life. All right.
I still think it's funny. I mean, good for you. I'm glad it's working, but I personally don't think I could do it. Even though I might consider it because I mean, I got makeup on and I did a pretty good job, but like, look at this guy. He's huge. And then I have a huge one here. And my skin was doing so good. But freaking masks and work and I mean, I
I'm
don't know
gonna
what
say
this one is, but these two I can
it's
blame on the
all
mask.
And it's all in the mask area. Yep, I was just gonna say. Anyways, enough about that.
Wait, hold
I
on.
have something.
One more
What?
mask related thing. I saw this thing on Facebook and it was a teacher talking to other teachers and it's this thing that she bought on Amazon. It's a plastic piece that goes on your face here and then you put the mask over it and it keeps the mask from sitting on your face so that bacteria and your sweat doesn't harbor. And I was like, that's cool, but wouldn't that plastic thing be more uncomfortable than the mask?
Build up gunk anyways, too.
Yeah,
Like
I
anything
don't
you
know.
keep putting in the same area is just gonna keep putting
I think
bacteria on your face.
I honestly think like the main purpose of it was so that the mask doesn't like fall into your mouth when you're talking. Because you know how sometimes when you
Oh,
talk and it like falls in and you're like, and you can't like
well,
talk.
get a bigger mask.
No, you need a smaller mask because the extra fabric like falls in.
Okay, I guess. I
Yeah.
always find though when I'm using a small mask and it's like
Oh, when
pressed
it's
up to
pressed
my,
up against you.
I can't really do much. So
Well,
I need like a perfectly good sized.
yeah, I feel that. I know I wear masks every day, guys, and have my favorites. I never thought that like I'm gonna make a freaking YouTube video of my favorite masks. Like, you know how people do like monthly favorites? I'm gonna do monthly mask favorites because I
You
literally have like a jillion masks.
I was gonna say you literally have so many masks because your grandma makes
Yeah.
them and sends them to you. So like one time she Snapchatted me, she had all of these cute homemade different designs, different like animals, different characters, all these cute little styles. So
They
you
make fun of me
should.
at work because they're like, because I'm like, ooh, I have so many, so obviously I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna do the wear one a day, whatever. Even though you can kind of get away with every other day, but I have so many, why like risk it? So like last week I wore a Disney mask every day, and I work 5 days a week, guys. So everyone was like, what the hell? Are you just like a Disney queen? I was like, yes, I am, and my grandma knows that, so she made me all Disney masks. So
Yeah, I mean, own
why
it, Ray,
not?
own it.
And then she made like I was gonna say Jaden. Jaden's my brother. She didn't make him masks, but I don't know what kind of masks. But she made Jonathan like a Dodger mask. He has a bunch of Mickey masks. So we're set on masks.
Cute. Yeah, we're kind of set over here too, like where we put our keys.
You
It's
have
like a
masks.
whole set of just hanging masks instead of keys. So we're all set too. But yeah, something else I wanted to mention.
Yes.
So a couple of weeks ago when we had Zim on and I talked about getting cleaning ladies for our house, right? And like
Oh,
telling my mom. And
that was in the
we
bonus
got
episode.
was that in the last
Yes,
episode
because
or
I
regular?
remember saying I'm hardworking, but I also don't mind paying someone to do the work that I don't want to do. So,
And I did it. I got my mom to get cleaning ladies, and they
ooh,
came today.
how was
And so
that?
earlier, it was weird. It
Wait, did you
was a
guys
little
stay home
weird.
with them?
Well, where could we go,
I
Ray?
know, I
Where
guess, I
could we
guess, yeah.
go?
Okay.
So I come home because I go work out early, and then I come home at 9. And right when I got home, they got here. And I was just so embarrassed because I'm like, how do you act when somebody's cleaning up after you? Like, you know how you just feel
Yeah.
so like, and so my mom was busy working, and my mom told me, hey, like, just watch them, keep checking on them, make sure they don't have any questions, make sure they don't need anything, make sure they don't need water. If they do, whatever. And so that's what I did, but I was so nervous, and I was like, wait, mom, like, what do I say? Do I just say like, hey, if you need, like, I was practicing what to say because I just felt so
It's a
like,
different
I don't,
experience.
yeah, like I don't want to seem like I'm watching them, but then I don't want to seem like I'm
Not
bugging
homey.
them.
Yeah.
But exactly, and then I don't want to seem like I'm not homey and I'm not welcoming. And I feel like, even though we're paying them, but like they're doing us the favor of
You still want to
cleaning
be a
our
good host.
house.
It's still your house, and there's still a guest
Yeah.
in your house. Yeah, I feel that.
So, it was just weird, but they did a phenomenal job. Like they organized everything. They really went deep into like the crevices and little places, and like you can tell a big difference. It smells better in my home. Like they just left a couple of hours ago, and me and my mom were just walking around. Like the kitchen just looks so beautiful, and I'm like, Mom, now I might actually cook. Like now I'm excited to be
Do
in this
things.
kitchen and
Yeah.
do things and like bake. I'm gonna do zucchini bread now and do all these cool things, and
Yeah.
so it's exciting.
Did they clean like your guys' bedrooms or just like the bathrooms and the kitchen, the living room?
So my mom basically was like, I don't know if they charge extra per room or what, but my mom was basically like, you guys want your rooms clean, you can clean them yourself. This
Yeah.
is just like, she just wanted the main areas, the kitchen, the dining room, the living rooms, the back room, and the 2 restrooms that we have. That was like my mom's main thing. And even our restroom is just so nice, so beautiful,
Perfect.
so clean. It's just like, uh, it's like starting fresh. I told mom, like, I'm so excited to just start fresh. And it makes me even more encouraged to want to clean my room. And
Yeah,
so
because you want it to.
that is my next. And I was
Oh,
telling Ashley, I was like, I really need help with my room. So even though my mom told them like they don't have to worry about her rooms, maybe if I just pay a little extra, she could be in my room, and maybe she can help me organize because I just need to find a place for everything. I'm not good at finding a new spot for every new thing in my room. Like, if the spot already exists, like, okay, all of my drawers, I could keep those clean. Those are neat and organized because I know where my bras go, I know where my undies go. But, like, little knickknacks that I just, like, place
yeah.
everywhere, I'm like, they need a spot and I just don't know how to organize it. So, I don't know.
I was gonna say when I was younger, my mom, I don't know how she found this lady, but she had a cleaning lady that would come like whenever my mom would call her. Like it wasn't like a set thing. But at the time we were living in so my grandparents live here in Arizona and a couple hours away from us, but they own a house in Rosemead, which is where me and Ray are from. And my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and me and my brother all lived in this house at one point because that was like that's our safe space. Like when you have nowhere else to go, you go to my grandpa's house that he still owns. Like that's why that house is still there. So it was all of us, and like that's a lot of people in a house, all on different schedules, living in the same common areas. And let me tell that house had one bathroom.
How many people were living in the house?
So it was my aunt, my uncle, at one point like down the line, my stepdad, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, my stepdad, and then us, me and my brother. So 6 people in this house, and it's a 7-bedroom house, but it has one bathroom.
What, a 7-bedroom
Well,
house and you have one bathroom?
they extended the house. So when my great grandpa bought the house when they came from Canada, it was a 2-bedroom house. So it was a little
Oh,
living room, a kitchen, a two bedrooms, and a bathroom. And
yeah.
then my
Hold up.
great
I didn't know you were descendants from people that came from Canada.
yeah, my grandpa's French Canadian.
No way. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I
Okay.
thought you knew that, but we don't really
I
know because
didn't.
he's adopted, so he can be anything. But he
Oh.
was raised there and came over.
Still, to have like a grandparent that was raised outside of the
Yeah.
states, I think that's so cool.
He doesn't eat chicken because he grew up on a farm. I think he came over when he was 12. I want to say he was 12 when they came over. Um, but he grew up on a farm and they had chickens, and his parents would make him kill the chickens, and then that would be their dinner. Because it was a different time of living. It was a farm, and so now he won't. He refuses to eat chicken or turkey or like any type of fowl. So
That's country life right
yeah.
there.
So anyway, so it was all of them, whatever. So my mom was like, you know what? No, I can't live like this. Like I don't have time to like deep clean. And me and my brother were young at the time. So like, yeah, we could pick up our toys, make our beds, but it's not like we can like, scrub, at least to her standards. So she hired this lady and she came, and I remember just like my mom was like, "Okay, we're going to go just to be out of her, space." So we would go to like the movies or like Chuck E. Cheese, and we would come back and everything was just like beautiful and like perfect. And I always been like, we look like, I was little and MTV was like big. I was like, we look like Cribs. Even though this house was like nowhere near.
It's so true. Like when after they left, I FaceTimed Ashley and I was like, "Let me just give you a tour real quick of my home now because
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. Like look at the counter."
Crazy.
Zooming in. So yeah, I love. You know what? I recommend 10 out of 10 recommend getting a cleaning lady. It's worth it.
Yeah, and then
I
even
yeah.
my mom like stayed in contact with this. It was a lady, her sister, and then sometimes she would bring her daughter. So she had like it was a family, that would come. And when I moved from my brother's room, so me and my brother shared a room, and my aunt got married, so she moved out of the house. So my mom was like, "Oh, you can take Shannon's old room," and that room. So you've seen my apartment. That room was as big as my living room. That room
Oh,
was huge. It was like a second master because when they built that room, they built it for all three of the girls. So my two aunts and my
oh,
mom.
yeah.
So it's huge. So I was like, you could take that room. And so I went from this tiny little room to this big room. And so everyone in my family was like getting me little things for my room. And everything just landed up, like you said, just, okay, I'm just going to put it here. I'm just going to put it there. And my mom was like, this is so ugly. Like, no, you can't live like this. Like, no, 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 no. And so she hired that lady. She came in. She like made my bed like this perfect, like a hotel, reorganized my closet, reorganized my drawers, set up a whole like little get ready station. I was like, whoa. And then I kept it like that. I was good about keeping it like that. But
Neat. That's what I need
yeah.
because I know that I will be good at keeping it that way once I get everything. But I just need like an interior designer, to
No, but
just
like, yeah, because then even then, like, I still like remember little things that she did on how she organized, and that's exactly how I have this place organized. So it's like you just need someone to do it, so you have the idea, and then you can just like expand from there.
so that they could like teach you how to
Mm-hmm.
do these things. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I mean, my mom didn't really get into detail when she was teaching me how to clean. Like, she didn't show me how to do tricks and things that help. Like, I mean, I don't know if she did and I just forgot, but
Yeah.
I don't remember those things. And so, like, learning those tips for when I get my own home, that's important too. So,
It's funny that you bring that up though, because the other day Jonathan and I we rearranged our bedroom. So we were like, when you rearrange furniture, you like vacuum under every other piece of furniture. And I was sitting there, and as he was vacuuming, I was like, did you ever like? I just started thinking. I was like, did your parents teach you how to vacuum, or did they just say like, here's the vacuum one day? And then he was like, I don't know. I don't remember. And then he's like, wait, I kept fucking up. So they finally like were like, okay, this is how you vacuum. And I was like, the only thing I can remember my mom like specifically teaching me how to do is laundry and dishes. And everything else was kind of like just from watching
it,
her.
like, I remember dishes for sure because that was
Yeah.
like my chore, so they made sure I knew how to do that good. They spent like months teaching me because like after months I still was like leaving dirty dishes, so they spent months. But I remember dishes, laundry, and I remember sweeping, like them teaching me how to sweep.
I didn't even learn how to
But
sweep.
really,
Yeah.
but vacuuming is kind of like a you see it and you kind of get the idea, you know what
I
I
mean,
mean? Press the button and
yeah.
go.
But how do they leave the lines? Like I don't feel like I don't leave lines in my carpet when I vacuum. But I'm like,
That just depends on how good the vacuum you have is.
Oh,
Because
is it?
one, yes, because if you have a good vacuum, it'll really just make those different. Because the middle, like underneath the vacuum, will be
Yeah.
so clean that it'll leave those lines.
I don't
It'll
know.
really
I
just.
feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'll vacuum and I won't get those lines, and then Jonathan will vacuum, and obviously it's the same vacuum. We don't each have a vacuum, and he'll leave the
He
lines.
gets the lines.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, that's your job. You do it.
Yeah,
Which is fine because
maybe
my
you don't.
vacuum's heavy, so I do not mind having to pull it in and out of that thing, that drawer right there. He could do it.
Yeah, you could do it. And you only have like what 2 rooms with a carpet, so.
Well, and then I vacuum the couch. I try to vacuum the couch at least once a
Oh,
week because of the dog, and he like sheds like
yeah,
crazy. We took
yeah.
you know how there's a coin shortage going on. So work was like, if you guys have coins, bring them out and we'll cash you out. Like, you know, bring the coins, we'll give you cash. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So I was nice and I separated. I didn't count it for them, but I separated like all the coins and put it in little baggies for them. And they were pulling it out, and there was dog hair in the coins because he sheds so much. Like, there's hair all over my house, no matter how much I sweep, how much I vacuum, how much I brush him. There's always dog hair. So, if you guys come to my
Yeah.
house, expect to be covered in fur. I'm sorry.
Pet mom problems.
Yeah.
Aw, that sucks. Well, anyways, what else is new with you?
Last day, I got an interview.
Hey, you were telling us about the job.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that works out. And
Well, when's the interview?
they're gonna call me next week to schedule it, but I'm gonna get a
Okay.
call to schedule it. So
Oh, are you nervous? Are you excited?
I got this.
No.
I
Okay.
I got interviews. I'm good
Yeah.
at interviews. So yeah.
Confidence is definitely one of your strong points.
But even like the job description and stuff, it's stuff I've done before, like in my different jobs. So I'm not even. I was almost a manager at Jersey Mike's, or I pretty much was a manager at Jersey Mike's. I've
Yeah.
done cashier, I've done retail, I've done food.
Yeah.
My
That makes
repertoire
sense.
is pretty intense.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Makes
yeah.
sense.
So should we? Anything else you want to do before we jump into this episode?
No, I'm all updated.
Yeah, me too. Oh, did you see my tweet? One last thing. Did you see my tweet the other day that I'm getting freaking abused by my animals?
It's another pet mom problem.
In my eye, I have concealer so you can't tell. It is so like, it's not like a black eye, but it's definitely dark underneath here. Because freaking, I was so, I let Ballas out of the crate and he got really excited and he like ran his face into my knee and you just heard, "Pa!" And I was like, oh, my baby, like, are you okay? So I laid on the floor with him and then he got even more excited and he went, pooh, and he hit my eye like straight on, like just all
damn.
paw just straight to my eye, and he like actually scratched the white part of my eye. So I had like a scratch in the white part of my eye. It was still kind of a little red. And then I had a scratch right here underneath and it was a bump, and then I have a scratch like here, but it's like all flat, so my makeup's like covering it pretty well. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, and then I was seeing blurry, whatever. I was fine. And then like all day at work with the mask pushing up against it, it's like swollen now just from it, like, you know, being touched. And then I went to go take a shower to get ready for work, literally like less than 5 minutes after Ballas hit me, and there was a cat in the bathroom. So I picked up the cat to take him out of the bathroom. I tripped over the scale, and since he heard the he got scared and he went to jump off of me, and he scratched my whole chest. So yeah. And then the gecko bit my finger as I was feeding him. So yesterday the pets just did not. They just were like, let's
Yeah,
abuse
they were
mom
not
today.
feeling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not feeling you. Well, we all have our days.
Yeah, I was like, is this what it's like to have real children? Like, am I gonna get abused by my real children like this?
Yeah, when they're in their teens and they hate you, they're just gonna go after you. Not physically, but just they'll mentally just abuse the heck out of you, probably.
Yeah, see, at least these ones don't abuse me. I might have a couple scratches, bruises, but I'm okay.
But those heal. Like we talked about last week, the physical is no, the mental is more important.
Yeah.
Is the hard part. Like, yeah. Anyways,
but,
all right, let's
That's
move
all
on.
my updates.
Yeah, let's move on. So today's topic how do I even introduce this topic? I don't even know. We wanted to.
So you guys have all seen, you guys have all gone through school, so you guys all know cliques. Pretty girls hang out with pretty girls, sports people hang out with sports people, the nerds hang out with the nerds, and you've
Yes,
seen
all
movies
about
like
clicks.
Mean Girls, you've seen movies like The Duff. So today we're gonna dive into that whole, I guess you could call psychology of it, or like weird, like why that happens of it, or what we think why it happens.
what what it is that attracts us to who we hang out with,
Yeah.
right? And like what and that's kind of what it reminds me of when we like first talked about this topic. It kind of reminded me of high school. And I think also too it's important to put into aspect of how old you are when you attract different people. Like it's all about age group, which we've touched on that before about like different stages of life, you attract different people because of who you are in that stage, right? But in high school, it is just so clicky. Like, and I think it's because, well, for one, when you're in high school, I feel like you're more worried about how the world is perceiving you, right? And so you do want to fit in as much as people say they don't. They do. It's like new school, small fish in a big pond. You just want to, I mean, it depends. I think for most of us, though, we kind of just want to fit in and not be seen and just do what we got to do and get out, right? But it's like, how do you
Who do you do
find
that
like
with?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like who do you do that with and why? Why do you choose those people?
Or
Or why do
yeah,
those,
why do you choose those people? Exactly.
or why do they choose you?
Yeah.
Right? Oh,
Right.
so yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about high school cliques in general?
So I think so. Okay, so it's kind of weird. So I feel like me, I don't know if you relate in the same way, but because we were both like, cheerleaders, both did sports, whatever, our kind of people were kind of already chosen for us, if you think about it, because you have a team that you're put on, and 9 times out of 10, your team people are who you're going to hang out with. And definitely, I think I hung out more of the cheerleaders than I did with the softball players. Granted, half the fucking softball team was cheerleaders, but but I feel like there's that aspect, or even if it's not specific that team, like my whole group of friends were an athlete of some sort. So like, or like my main group of friends were an athlete of some sort. So no, they might not have been softball players or cheerleaders, but they were a jock of some sort. And then especially at our high school, there was like that patio or like right outside the ASB office, and literally all
Spot.
the senior spot, but like all the athletes hung out there. It wasn't like just the
Yeah.
seniors. At least my senior year. I think the couple years before that it was just seniors. But like my senior year, that spot was literally all the football players, all the cheerleaders, all the baseball players, like all the basketball players, all the softball, soccer, volleyball, everyone hung out right there together. And I felt comfortable enough where I didn't like expand out. Like I had friends who weren't athletes, but they were like classroom friends. Like I didn't hang out with them outside of school or stuff like that. So I feel like I had a different experience just cuz I kind of got put into a crowd already just being an athlete. So I didn't go looking for more people to be friends with.
Yeah, and also too though, like your friends that you were friends with since elementary school, they also kind of followed you in that athlete
Yeah.
way, like all of your friends. So you guys stood friends, all became kind of like athletes or definitely a part of the school. Like you guys were
Right.
definitely involved. So then, that's how that happened. For me, it was a little bit more different. Like I went into high school and I think like I knew, okay, I wanted to be a cheerleader. So obviously I wanted to hang out with the cheerleaders because you hang out with who
Your
you
teams.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who you want. And that's what I was kind of saying. I wanted to say that you kind of hang out with who you want the world to perceive you as. You get me? Like you have this idea of like going back to being when you're in high school and you care so much about how the world is perceiving you and you think, okay, like I want to be a cheerleader. I want to hang out with the cheerleaders. I want people
Right.
to perceive me as one of them, right? So I think there was definitely that a little bit, but also it was hard in high school to keep friendships that weren't a part of a team. Like it was hard. Like I had friendships from middle school and going into high school, we tried to hang out as much as we could during lunch or whatnot. But as when you're in sports and you have to do things during lunch, you have to do pep rallies, you have to be the more you're with your team, it's like, oh, okay, the more you get along with those people. And like you were saying, it was kind of forced for us. So I guess that is kind of where it was different because we didn't really pick it. It was kind of picken for us or chosen for us.
I mean, we made the
Um,
choice to be on the team, but people that were on the team obviously weren't our choice. It was coaches, the years before, whatever, however that tryout for that specific team worked. So we chose to be a part of that team, but we didn't choose the people that we were going to be interacting with, what, 4 hours a day, sometimes longer, and then on the weekends too, when we would have weekend practices. So, like, these people become your friends because you're with them almost every single day. And it's kind of
you
hard not
become
to be
close.
friends with someone you're with all the time.
Exactly. You kind of become close to the people you're forced to be with, whether you like it or not.
I mean, look
And
at
I
me
think
and
that
Ray.
was,
I think this is that's a big part of why me and Ray are where we are now because we were on the same cheer team for
yeah.
3 years together.
Yeah, and then after that, we continued to like be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
So that does have such a big part of that. Um, but
And
I
then,
think
oh, go
what?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think, do you think it really is like a physical thing? Like, you know how when they say like the pretty girls hang out with the pretty girls, the popular kids hang out with the popular kids, the nerds hang out with the nerds, like those OG stereotypes, even
Yeah,
though I mean, there is some truth to stereotypes. There just is. Like, that's why they exist.
right.
Like, as much as we hate to be stereotypical, it's a thing. Like, that's why they exist.
Yeah, I think I honestly do think it's more less physical. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's just the way we grew up, but like if I see somebody, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I want to be her friend because she does her winged eyeliner exactly like I do my winged eyeliner. No, my mind's more like, oh, she likes makeup. She obviously deals with like plays with makeup. I play with makeup. Like, let's see if we could be friends. Like, that's how my thought process works. I mean, sure, like I see someone on Instagram that's attractive and I'll probably, go through her page more because I'm like, oh, like, she caught my interest. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I want to be her friend until I've watched, like, I don't know, her YouTube videos and see, like, her personality. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the attractiveness thing could, like, maybe draw people's attention. But I don't know if you would necessarily become friends automatically without just based off appearance.
It's kind of just like any relationship, right? Like, I do believe that being attractive in this world helps.
Oh, for
It
sure.
helps. I mean,
Sadly,
we live in a social media world. Being attractive gets you opportunities. We have seen it, right? But it's true when you said, yeah, it might initially attract me like a beautiful girl. I'm like, yeah,
dang, like I
I
want to
want to
look
be
like
her
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind hanging out with her. Maybe I can look like her. No, but then you get to know someone, and if they don't have the personality, it's like anything. It's like, oh damn,
I
like
don't want to. Yeah, I don't. And then also, I think going off the same thing, like say I find somebody on YouTube, right? Or Instagram and they have their YouTubes linked, whatever. And then there's this person that's like, beautiful on the outside and is also like donating to charity or has their own, like, for me, like their own animal shelter or like stuff like that. Then I'm more drawn, like, oh my God, I want to be like her. Like, I want to, like you were saying, you attract to people you want to be like or like role models. Because
yes,
then
like
I'm
you
like,
look up
oh,
to people.
yeah.
You
So,
look up
like,
to those people, and you're like, man, I want that to rub off on me.
yeah,
Just a little.
exactly. Like, and it's not even a matter of because I think people probably have this conception of like, oh, so you don't want to be yourself, or like you want to be like that person because everyone always is like, oh, don't be a follower, be a leader. But in my mind, it's more like, no, like that's who I aspire to be, but in my own way. Like I want to be helping at charities, but I also want to be doing, my makeup and all my fun stuff over here. But all the money I make here, I want to put back to animals or like, and just like spark ideas of what these people are doing to better the world to help you better the world, if that makes sense.
Well, like you were saying, it's just inspiring to you. You're not
Yeah.
saying you're gonna change your whole being to be identically, physically like this
This person.
person. You know,
Even though
that's
people do that and we need to change that. Just
you
be
think so?
you.
You think
Oh yeah. I mean, do you know how many like I mean, I see it more of like big celebrities, obviously, but there's people out there that'll go do plastic surgeries to look like Kylie Jenner or like,
that is
I want
so
to
true?
be
Like
like,
Kylie Jenner's friends all kind of look like her. Like even the blonde chick, like they look different when they first were like 12 and they were hanging out, and now they look like twins.
and
So
especially
yeah.
the rate of where plastics or the technology plastic surgery has now, and all these cosmetic things, Botox, even like the freaking eyebrow, was it microblading? They could reshape the whole freaking structure of your eyebrow bone. Like, it's crazy. People can
Yeah.
be whoever that you can create yourself. Like, if you want to look like something and you have the money, you can go do it.
Isn't that so scary?
It is
Isn't that
very
so
scary.
sad? Isn't that so sad? And like, could you imagine too, like, if people who put that much money into fixing like their outer shell, if they put that money into therapy
Yeah,
and just like working on just their mind and soul and how to perceive and love themselves for,
themselves rather than things. Yeah, and that's another thing I want when we talked about this topic that I wanted to bring up is like we're using the word like attractive very like loosely, but I want to put out there that like attractive doesn't mean the same thing to everybody else. Cuz like I think me and Ray are attractive, but we can be butt ugly to somebody else. Like,
I'm sure we are. I'm sure we
exactly.
are.
That's what I'm saying. Or like I don't know, the typical like blonde hair, blue eyes, like that's supposed to be like the beautifulest thing in the world. Sorry, I don't find that attractive, like personally. Like,
Hey, exactly. Everybody has their own version of
exactly.
attractiveness. I agree with that.
And I
But
think
going
that's
back to,
really important to put out there.
I agree.
So, going back to like pretty girls hanging out with pretty girls, I saw a study and I can't think of who did it, but it was a college in like London that did it. And it was saying that it's not necessarily the physical features of like the pretty girls hanging out with the pretty girls, but it's rather a lot of these times these girls or these groups of people, it could even be like boys, they grow up hearing like, oh my god, you're so pretty, or like, oh wow, look at your hair, it's so beautiful, you're so beautiful. And the reason they think the reason that those types of people go together is again characteristics, because girl A has heard this her whole life, but girl B's also heard this their whole life. So it's something they can talk about. So that's why
Yeah.
they become friends. So again, wow, you're so pretty, got them talking, and like, oh, you heard that your whole life growing up? Me too. And now they have a similarity and now they're friends. Rather than just, oh wow, we both have blue eyes. Wow, we're both pretty. We're friends. Like, as I think
Yeah,
some
it's
people think it is how it happens.
okay. So it is a true thing that attractive people hang out with attractive people. I get that. I think what I wanted to say earlier was I I don't want to say it's as much like I think when you're younger that does happen. Like these two little girls are like, "Oh, they're getting all these compliments," and so you grow up thinking like, "Oh, that's like I'm pretty because I'm used to hearing it all my
Yeah.
life." And then as you get older and and like you were saying, like their friends who are surrounded by them, they get those same compliments, so they grow up thinking like, "Oh, the pretty people hang out with the pretty people," right?
Right.
But when you get older and you get out of this whole high school clique realm, you start realizing like, I feel like I attract friends that are not necessarily attractive on the outside, but this is gonna be so cheesy, but attractive on the inside.
Right.
Like
Definitely.
funny, funny people, smart people, and like this kind of goes into this idea of being a duff, right? And you've heard that. Okay, for everybody who has not heard that term, Duff, Designated Ugly Friend. The movie came out in
Fat friend.
2017.
Ugly fat friend.
Oh, does it two F's?
Yeah.
Designated Ugly
Ugly fat
Fat
friend.
Friend. Okay. Movies on Netflix. Go watch it. So funny. Is it on Netflix?
It might not.
Actually,
It
don't quote
was
me. Don't
there,
quote me.
but you can find it. It's a movie. It's literally called The Duff. So
The DUF, right? Designated fat ugly friend. And I am okay with being the Duff. And let me tell you why. Because I have been. I know I'm one. I know I'm one. And let me tell you why I'm okay with it. Because I hang out with, not purposefully. Like I don't purposefully go out and look for the most attractive girl and like be like, "Oh, I'm going to be your friend." I mean, I've done that a couple times, but I have just I am attracted to people that are, yes, physically attractive, but like innerly attractive, like on the inside, and I am not afraid to say like, yeah, my friends are prettier and funnier and smarter than me, and I'm okay with that because they teach me how to
right,
be more like that. They teach me how to be more funny, or when I'm with them I feel funnier. When I'm with them I feel they make me feel better about myself, stuff like that. And I think that's important. I
yeah,
think it's not
definitely.
I don't think it's bad to be the designated fat ugly friend, because that means you're surrounding your circle with people that are better than you, and that's not a
Bad thing.
problem. Like,
Yeah,
why surround yourself with people who are worse than you? Like, that's not going to push you in life. That's not gonna drive you to want to do better, because you're surrounding yourself with people who are fine with settling, and you shouldn't settle, you know?
right. Definitely. And I think the whole term "duff," I don't know if like I like it because I was like, that's so mean. Like, who cares? Like,
Joke,
no, no,
Ray.
I know. But people like in movies like Mean Girls. Okay, I'm not gonna be like a party pooper, but I love Mean Girls. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
It's like one
no,
of
yeah,
my
we love some Mean
freaking
Girls. Can quote it any day of the
go
week.
Glen Coke, go. Okay. Anyways, no, but there's like a bunch. Here we go. Here, see, nerdy me. Another stereotype. I'm a nerd and I was an athlete. Where do I get placed? Like,
And a raver,
and a
because
raver, and I like the makeup community, and I have a million animals. Like, where do I fit in? If that's the case, like, if we're gonna go cliques, like, where do I go? Right? Anyways, um, I feel like I was one of like the only. No, I feel like our school was pretty good though about the athletes being nerds. Like there was a lot of athletes in my like AP classes and stuff in high school.
okay.
Now that I think, I mean, it wasn't like all of us, obviously, but there was a good like. It was me and my friends. Let's be real.
Hey, Ray, yeah.
Anyways, no, but what I was gonna say is Mean Girls. Since that movie came out, I've been like reading like studies, whatever, because again, nerd, and it's like proven that since that movie came out, bullying has gotten worse amongst girls and cliques and like just all this hatred and mean acts. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like, where's the parenting? Like, it's supposed to be a funny movie. And that's why I thought of that because of Duff. Like, Duff is supposed to be funny. It's supposed to just be like stupid, whatever. But little girls are watching this and like thinking, oh, it's okay to treat my friends like that. Or I have to go out and look for like a designated ugly fat friend. And that's like, supposed to be a joke. Like, that's when parenting's supposed to come in and be like, it's a movie. You don't treat people like this. You
Yes.
love who you love. You be friends with who you want to be friends with.
Yeah. I think, I mean, when it comes to girls being petty and cliquey in high school, that's a whole other topic, because then you get into like girls that are jealous. You get into girls that don't know how to handle, like, I don't know, just
It's just, I feel like a lot of this, like we keep saying high school, but I feel like a lot of it starts in high school and it drives from like high school experiences. But girls in high school, even if you're the most unproblematic person at that school and you stick to yourself and you do whatever you want to do, your name's gonna get thrown around at some point. And it's because there's girls are mean in high school, just plain out mean. You can be friends with everybody and someone's still gonna say shit about you. And it's so like,
like go into high school knowing that, and it's so cliche, I'm sure you've heard it all the time, but you're not going to please everyone. Not everyone's gonna want to be your friend, and you have to be okay. I think a lot of it too is just being confident and okay with knowing who you are, owning it, going into going out into the world and being like, look, this is what I have to offer. I am always up for growth and improvement, but this is who I am in this space right now. Take it or leave it. But leave it if you're going to be fake and pretend and pity me or be jealous behind my back. Like, leave, because I don't want that either.
Yeah, exactly. And like going off of knowing who you are, stay with that even when there's like speaking like from experience. Like there's even when there's like rumors going around about you, or you know, so and so said that you so and did so and so whatever, or you did so this and that. Because if you stick true to who you are and you don't fall into the rumors and you don't go around, like obviously if it's really bad, defend yourself, but don't be like, oh, why would I do that? Every single thing, because then you look like, it could be true. Because there was multiple times where like, and even if you like, people always like, oh, don't be a teacher's pet. Like, don't be a teacher's pet, but make sure the faculty like knows who you are. And like,
Hell no. Forget the people that say don't be a teacher's pet. Be a teacher's pet, because the teachers
are gonna
are the
have your
ones in
back.
charge of your GPA too. Let's not forget
Oh
that,
yeah,
okay? Let's not
yeah,
forget why you're in school in the first place, okay?
true.
GPA over all friends.
Yeah, but
GPA is your best friend. That's who you're trying to
I just
impress, okay?
throwing a story out there about like having faculty on your back. Ray probably remembers this because you were a sophomore when it happened. When we used to decorate the football players' lockers for homecoming, and one year some of the girls decided to put condoms in the lockers, and obviously it's a freaking high school. I don't know why they thought that would be okay, and like whatever. So the specific kid got one, and I was friends with this kid, and they said that I was the one that put it there. And this person had a family member on faculty who was like, I know Raylene. There's no way she did that. Like, no. Like, no.
Yeah.
And even the activities principal was like, Raylene Garcia. Well, Raylene Garcia, Raylene Marici, I don't think it'd be either one of them, because they knew who we were. And guess who didn't get in trouble? Because my name was clean. We didn't. Even though they're like, no, it was Raylene, it was Raylene, it was Raylene, it was Raylene. And I was like, because my mom got called just so that they knew, like, oh, this is getting said about Raylene, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, okay. Because my mom obviously knew what type of girl I was too, knew I wouldn't be doing crap like that. But when I got home, she, like, obviously was like, oh, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. Got a call today, whatever. Because my mom always kept me in the loop. And she's like, you know what I find funny though? I was like, what? She's like, you've known so and so, the person I got accused of putting one in, since kindergarten. You guys are close friends, whatever, but you like so and so. Everybody knows you like so and so, so why wouldn't they say you put it in so and so's locker to make it more really believable? I was like, mom, like, why are you even like, but like, true, like, you're right. If you're gonna start
Exactly.
rumors, like, be smart about it. But yeah, and I
But
was
don't
just like,
start rumors. But don't
no,
start
don't start
rumors.
rumors. But I was just like, it was going around and people came up to me and I was like, okay, well, I didn't do it. Okay, I didn't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, why aren't you freaking out? What do I have to freak out about? I know I didn't do it.
Yeah.
The person who got it knows it wasn't from me. So there's no like weird, awkward implications there because he knows I wouldn't do that. The faculty knows it wasn't me. My mom knows it wasn't me. My cheer coach knows it wasn't me. So what do I have to freak out about? Because some stupid little girls want to be petty and put my name out there? Like, so just be true to who you are, guys. And
And
if you're
but
confident,
that's another thing that's important to bring up too, is when you find people that are able to see past the BS and know like who you really are, and even like, and I'm so grateful for that now. Like, I truly think that all of my friends now, if they were to hear something so wild about me, they would, I'm pretty sure, I mean, they would at least come to me first, but I'm pretty
exactly.
sure I'm at that spot with all of my friends where they know me. They know if that sounds like something I would do or not. And I mean, listen, I'm not a perfect person. I've done some questionable things. Okay, we all have, right?
Yeah.
But but if you have good friends who know you and know the goodness of your heart, they're going to have your back 110%.
Yeah. It's and that goes back again to being you. Like we keep saying, just be you. Like don't be the person that's like, oh yeah, I'm so for this, and then this, and this comes up, and you're like, oh no. So just be true to who you are, stick to your word, and your friends are gonna have your back because they're gonna know that you're a real person and that you're who you say you are, and your characteristics are who you are. So
You don't have to be so like, you don't have to be set in who you are either.
yeah,
Like, we are so young. We have room to change. We have room to evolve. Like, the person that me and Ray were in high school, we are so far from that now. And friends know that. Like, friends are going to want you to change. Real friends are going to want you to evolve and become better. Yeah, they're gonna know that you make mistakes. They might really tell you off for those mistakes in good intention,
right.
but they know that you're going to change. They know that you're going to become better. So don't be afraid of that either. Like, don't go out into the world and feel the need to be right about everything, to be
Oh
like the
no.
perfect cheerleader, the perfect nerd, the perfect, don't try to fit in one stereotype either, to try to like fit in or fit this bubble, right? Feel free to make mistakes. Feel free to like come and be like, look, this is what I think I know. This is what I think I bring to the table. Please enlighten me. Please, like, challenge me,
Yeah.
A
And
good friend is going to challenge you because they want to make sure that you are steady of who you are and what you believe,
yeah,
you know?
definitely. And going back to that, good friends want you to be better, to improve, to do all these things. Going into high school, even college, me and my friends made that, okay, we're gonna try everything together. And if someone of us likes it, we'll stick there, but you don't like it, you can not do it anymore. And that's how I ended up trying out for soccer, trying out for volleyball, trying out for all these things. And I was like, nope, I'm gonna stick to softball and cheer. And all my friends tried out for softball with me. They didn't want to stick, they didn't want to stick. So, it's like one of those things like your friends should motivate you to try new things. In college, my friends were like, go try UNLV. If you don't like it, come home. Like, and I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to leave home, I don't want to leave home. Like, no, go, try it. And and like I mentioned before, I've had friends come out there and check up on me. Like, they were motivating me, trying to keep me on track. And they're like, you don't like it? Okay, come home. And then I landed up at APU. But I had those friends that were like, no, go try new experiences. You don't know. Go try, I don't know, whatever you want to try. We're here to support you if you like it or if you don't like it. And that's the type of people that you need in your life, whether they have the same physical appearance of you or not. So that's, I think, where you guys, I shouldn't say you guys, but everybody has to look for friends. Who cares if you guys are totally opposite looking? Who cares if you guys, one likes football and one likes basketball? Who cares if they motivate you and they give you drive and inspiration? That's where you're supposed to be.
Those are your people.
Yeah. I mean,
I
look at
agree.
me and Ray. We have so much differences, and more than I could count, probably. Different opinions on different things. I'm
Yeah.
still the
And
first
even
one. Oh, go ahead.
and even in different stages of life.
Yeah. And I'm still the first one that's like, no, what? Why? No, go try it. Why are you even hesitating? Go
Okay,
do that.
yeah, I go to her for so much advice, so many like major events, so many times where I'm like, am I tripping? You tell me if I'm tripping because,
And nine out of
and those,
time, 9 out of 10 times she's tripping and overreacting for no reason. And I'll straight up tell her, calm down. It's okay.
yes, one of my flaws is I am such an overthinker. But yeah, I think it's important for that. I think we kind of touched on everything I kind of wanted to say. So, just to wrap it up, being attractive will
Doesn't get
only
you the
get you
best
so
friends.
far. Yeah, will only get you so far. So work on your personality, pretty people out there. Um, and second, just you as a person, like when you attract friends, just make sure you are being your true, genuine self because I think that will help attract the right people. Like pretending that you're someone else in front of a crowd is only going to attract the people that are not good for you. I think, and I've learned from experience. Like I've definitely been the girl that tried to put on a show in front of everyone and tried to fit in and not be who I not be true to my genuine self. Like, come on, we've all had those phases. And you learn, I guess you have to go through that stuff to come out the other
Yeah.
side and realize.
And you know, sometimes you'll put on like acts for different reasons, and then you grow up and you're like in high school, I feel like I kind of like not publicly, but I put on like, you know, like this tough girl act, like, oh yeah, I'm a badass softball player. Yeah, you know, no one could like hurt me, blah blah blah. And I was like at home, I was dealing with like daddy issues. So like, you know, there's different.
It's always daddy
Oh,
issues
it's
with
always
us.
daddy. I know. But like, you know, so you put up fronts, and I think that's another thing to touch on. Like if you're putting something up, like a wall up or whatever, that's not necessarily you not being true to who you are. That's you coping with something. And if your real friends will realize that that's a coping mechanism and not you being fake. So don't like
Yeah.
bring yourself down if you know that you're putting up a certain characteristic or certain wall because of something you're dealing with. That doesn't make you a bad person or doesn't make you a fake friend or a fake to who your true self is. That's you mentally coping with something, and that's just important. And your real friends will know that.
That's just what you're dealing with in that stage of your life. And, like Ray keeps saying, the real ones will stay and rough it out with you. And the ones who don't want to won't. And that's fine. Like
Yeah.
my big thing right now that I'm just trying to learn myself is that you can only control what you do. You can't control everyone else around you. So if they come or if they go, you have to make peace with it because nothing's going to tear you down more than manifesting all of these things you can't control in your head. Like that's like your biggest enemy. You can't do that to yourself.
I I saw heard it on like a, I don't know if it was a podcast or a channel or something, but it was like one of those, you know, positivity, like, you know, let go of everything. And their main thing was like you can't take hatred, you can't take greed, you can't take past experiences or like past hatred, whatever, or what is the word? Grudges.
Grudges.
Grudges with you when you die. So what's the point of hanging on to them for the small amount of life that you do have? There's no reason. They're not going to be with you whether you go to hell, heaven, or even if you don't believe in those places, they're not going to be with you. So why hold on to them for the hopefully at least 90 years that you have here on earth? There's no point.
You're letting all of that grudge and hatred live in your head rent free. So stop.
Yeah, it does you no good, no benefit in any way, shape, or form. So why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think we couldn't have said it any better.
So anything else, Ray?
Um, no, I think we're good on this topic. What do you think? Do you
I
think
think
we
so
nailed
too.
it?
I think we do, and I think we do. I think we did. And the funny thing is, me and Ray were so nervous to film this specific episode because we didn't do. I mean, we like looked up stuff, but we're like, you know, I don't
We
know.
were
We
like,
didn't have
we
anything
wanna,
planned.
yeah, we were like, we want to really just dive deep into this, but I think, I think the messages that we brought across were more important, and I think whoever needs to hear it hopefully hears this message and it speaks to them and it helps them with whatever they're going through. And I mean, like, I feel like a lot of the topics we touch on aren't just, I mean, we say that we're like a friendship podcast and we talk about friendships, which we do, but all of these things that we talk about and all of the things that we want you to take away don't just apply to friendships. Like, all relationships in your life, you know?
Yeah, and I think like the topics that we talk about, a lot of the times they stem from you and your self improvement, but having a friendship backbone or having a support system of a good friendship is what's going to aid in that self improvement and that self
Boom, right
worth.
there. Right there.
So,
I'm
there we
just gonna
go.
end it there. I don't even want to.
Okay.
I don't even want to
All
ruin that
right.
perfect ending.
All right, so there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What do you do on Spotify? Follow, add to your playlist, all the
And
different
also,
stuff.
Follow our Instagram, Ray to Ray Podcast, if you want to follow us Rays individually. I am at Raylene Marici, and she is at
Raylene_Danae. So yeah, make sure you guys check us out on that platform because we post little well, not really sneak peeks, but we post sneak peeks, highlights, just funny things. We're really active on our Instagram, I like to say. We post at least twice a week and we have a highlights reel on there. And then me and Raylene also post pretty frequently about the podcast on our individual personal IGs. So yeah, make sure you guys follow us on everything. And yeah, our links to all of it are also on our Instagram. So we're on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So we have a little link that will direct you to any of those three that you choose to pick from. So that's on Instagram as well. But yeah,
So
guys.
go click all of those links and listen to each episode on each website, please.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys next week. Love ya. Bye.
Love ya. Bye.